I don't even know where to begin. There's been a lot of craziness going around with the Xbox Series S and the X, and just a lot of craziness that's going on. But we're going to talk about it in the video, guys. Let's get into the video. Let's talk about it. Yo, what is going on, guys? Is that guy Ken back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Series S and the X and how Microsoft, no matter what they do, they're going to put themselves in a rock and a hard place. Anyway, no matter what decision that they make is going to be a bad decision. Now, what is it that I'm talking about? So there were 3 games that just released not too long ago, right? One being Hogwarts, the other one being Atomic Heart, and the last one being Wild Hearts, right? 3 games that just released. And all 3 of these games are doing better on the PS5. So the PS5 is the best version of the game, right? Now I'm going to come back to those and why that's significant. And the other thing, because this is kind of a multifaceted conversation a little, is the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 is not getting a day one version for the Xbox at all. At least not for a little while, right? Now, why is all of this significant? Because the reason why this is all significant is because, one, it's starting to unveil the truth, the real truth about all of the lies that people have been saying about the PS5 and basically how it was a piece of shit hardware and all of this other stuff, right? And on top of that, right, it's starting to also unveil the problems that Microsoft is going to have and is currently having with the Xbox Series S. Now, why is this a problem? Because we already know clearly, right? People have been saying for the last couple of years that the Xbox, I guess both of them really, and especially the X, they're going to be always going to be the best versions of the games, and the PS5 was basically going to be the lowest common denominator for all of these games going forward, because it was basically like a piece of shit hardware, and that the PS5 was the lowest common factor in all of these game development, right? And especially recently, we've been getting a lot of people who've been coming out basically saying like the PS5, right, being that because it doesn't have some feature that the Xbox Series X or S doesn't have, or the fact that it's not full RDNA 2 or whatever the case, right, it is what's causing developers, right, to create parity between the games that are coming out, right? Games like Hogwarts, games like Atomic Heart, games like this game Wild Hearts and stuff like that, and that's clearly not true. Don't listen to these guys because it's all bullshit, right? All of it. And the reason why I say that is because it's not the PS5 that's the lowest common denominator, it's the Xbox Series S. And the reason why we know that is because these other 3 games that I mentioned before, right? Atomic Heart, Hogwarts, Wild Hearts, we know that all of these games are running just fine on the PS5. It's the Xbox versions that are having issues, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. And shit like Baldur's Gate, they're having some kind of technical issue, right? Getting the game running on the Xbox, period. And the reason why they're delaying the game, or it has some kind of extended development time, is because they're trying to get like some cooperative mode into the game, but it's some technical issue that they're running into, right? And I believe, right, it has something to do with the S, right? Now, people seem to forget, because they've been scapegoating the PS5, but the S is really what the problem is, right? People seem to forget that Microsoft, being that they're forcing developers to work for the Series S, means that they have to, no matter what, develop for the Xbox Series S. And this is a big fucking problem, right? The S is a problem. And I'm gonna tell you why it's a problem. Because once you realize that the Xbox Series S is the lowest common denominator, because this console, this piece of shit hardware is basically a piece of shit hardware. It's really not a good piece of hardware, right? And it was running some of these other like last generation games and all of this other stuff pretty well, right? Even though it had low LODs and it wasn't running with like next generation features like ray tracing and stuff like that, and it was running sub 1080p, like sub HD. Like the majority of the time, they had to use dynamic resolution scaling just to get the shit to run and look halfway decent, right, on this piece of hardware, right? But that was on like last gen, cross gen. We're learning the Xbox Series S is not doing well at all with some of these next generation games, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're having so many issues with these Xbox versions, because this isn't the first time with Baldur's Gate that stuff like this has happened. Like there's been other situations where the Xbox version of the game had to be either developed for a longer period of time, or there was some feature that just didn't launch with the console, you know, because there was some technical issue that they ran into because of some issue with the hardware, right? Or just game skipping Xbox altogether. Now, the reason why it's a big fucking problem is because the Xbox Series S is not only the lowest common denominator, but it is the best piece of hardware that they are selling right now. It is their best selling hardware right now. So Microsoft basically has the shittiest piece of hardware that they have right now selling the best. Now, why is that a fucking problem? Because no matter what they do, right, they're going to have to prioritize the S. Period. Either decision is going to have to prioritize the S, right? Because they can't just get rid of it. Because like more than 50% of the people who got into next generation Xbox, right, purchased the S and not the X, right? So it can't be like something like the Xbox One X, right, where it was a great piece of hardware, but it just didn't sell well. So they got rid of it. And it was cool, and that was it, and they just moved on, right? They can't do that with the S, because if they do that, they're going to be losing more than 50% of the people who got into the ecosystem this generation to begin with, right? And if they keep the hardware, that means that they're always constantly going to have to develop for it. Meaning that no matter what they do going forward, they have to have some kind of parity between the Xbox Series S version and the X. Meaning that these games are going to be hindered no matter what. So either decision that Microsoft makes is going to be a bad fucking decision. Either way. And this whole situation is just a big clusterfuck shit show. And I've talked about this before, right? I've mentioned this before. And it's hilarious to me because people they keep propping up this stuff, man. And it's funny because the lies are really starting to get uncovered about, you know, how the hardware specifications are working and how the PS5 is basically punching above its weight and stuff like that, and the Xbox Series S is holding back, you know, next generation Xbox, and it's hilarious. And like I said, I'm gonna be sitting here on the sidelines watching all of this go down with my popcorn and all of that stuff, and just see the whole shit show meltdown when all this stuff goes up in flames. It's gonna be hilarious to me personally, because I already saw it coming, and it's like these guys cannot see the forest through the trees, and either way, it's gonna be an entertaining show, and I'm gonna love every second of it. But nonetheless, that's pretty much all I had to say on this topic, guys. I did want to make another video. I'm still working on it. It's going to be some other video about Game Pass and stuff. But I'm going to get that out hopefully within the next couple of days. But that's all I had to say on this particular video. If you like the video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Hit that notification bell. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.